1. The Contribution of the World. Chapter 1 of the book, The Contribution of the World, introduces the reader to the topic of the book and sets the stage for the subsequent chapters. The author acknowledges that there are different philosophical positions regarding the nature of the mind and consciousness, and the purpose of the book is to bring together existing ideas and present a novel alternative. The chapter begins by discussing the role of the world in shaping our experiences and contributing to our understanding of the mind. The author argues that our interactions with the external world play a crucial role in how we perceive and interpret our surroundings. These interactions bring about various emotions such as anger, joy, sadness, or fear. While the process of this transformation is not fully explained, the author suggests that it will be explored further in the following chapters. The next task outlined in the chapter is to address the challenges and complexities associated with understanding the mind. The author proposes that a combination of mindless cognitive agents and conscious beings with higher levels of intentionality can contribute to a more comprehensive understanding of the mind. These agents work together in transient coalitions to generate the necessary descriptive and directive content for proprioceptive or interoceptive responses. The chapter concludes with a brief introduction to the strategy that will be employed in the subsequent chapters. The author mentions the importance of considering the role of these conscious agents in transforming signs into lived experiences of varying degrees of complexity. It is implied that this strategy will be elaborated upon in the following chapters. Overall, Chapter 1 serves as an introduction to the book and sets the stage for the exploration of the mind and consciousness in subsequent chapters. It highlights the significance of the external world in shaping our experiences and emphasizes the need to consider both mindless cognitive agents and conscious beings in understanding the mind. The chapter also hints at the approach that will be taken in the book to delve deeper into these topics. The contributions of the body. In The Contributions of the Body, the author explores the significance of the physical body in contributing to our understanding and experience of the world. The chapter delves into the various ways in which the body plays a crucial role in shaping our perceptions, emotions, and actions. The author begins by emphasizing the importance of the body as a vehicle through which we interact with the external world. Our senses, such as touch, taste, sight, and hearing, allow us to gather information from our surroundings and form a comprehensive understanding of our environment. The body acts as a conduit for these sensory experiences, enabling us to navigate and make sense of the world. Furthermore, the author discusses how the body influences our emotions and subjective experiences. They argue that bodily sensations and movements are intimately connected to our emotional states. For example, the way we hold ourselves, our facial expressions, and our gestures can reflect our internal emotional states and communicate them to others. The body, therefore, not only experiences emotions, but also expresses and communicates them. The chapter also explores the relationship between the body and action. The author suggests that our bodies play a crucial role in shaping our actions and behaviors. They argue that our physical capabilities and limitations influence the choices we make and the actions we take. Additionally, bodily sensations and movements can serve as cues for decision-making and guide our behaviors. Moreover, the author delves into the concept of embodiment, which refers to the idea that our bodies are not separate from our minds or consciousness, but are intertwined with them. They argue that our bodily experiences shape our perceptions, thoughts, and self-awareness. The body, therefore, is not merely a vessel for the mind, but an integral part of our cognitive processes. Throughout the chapter, the author draws on various philosophical perspectives and scientific research to support their arguments. They highlight the work of scholars who have explored the relationship between the body and cognition, such as phenomenologists and neuroscientists. By synthesizing existing ideas and research, the author presents a comprehensive understanding of the contributions of the body to our lived experiences, the brain in different ways. To understand the perception of properties, the author delves into the nature of sensory inputs and how the brain processes them. The brain is responsible for transforming these sensory inputs into meaningful information that we can perceive. The author also discusses how different cognitive agents within the brain are involved in this process. Moving on to the perception of objects, the author explores how the brain allows us to perceive objects as distinct entities with their own properties. The brain combines various sensory inputs to create a coherent perception of an object. The author emphasizes the role of cognitive agents in this process and how they contribute to our ability to recognize and differentiate between objects. The perception of situations involving several interacting objects is also explored in this chapter. The author highlights the complexity of this type of perception and how the brain is necessary for understanding the relationships and interactions between multiple objects. Cognitive agents within the brain play a crucial role in processing the information and forming a coherent understanding of the situation. Throughout the chapter, the author emphasizes the agency of cognitive agents within the brain. These agents are responsible for transforming sensory inputs and motor outputs into a lived experience. The author argues that without the contributions of these cognitive agents, our perception and cognition would be significantly limited. The chapter concludes by discussing the philosophical nature of the properties of the visual field. Properties can be categorized as either intrinsic or relational. The author leaves the reader with this philosophical question, prompting further exploration and contemplation. The author then discusses the evolution of sentient measuring devices and the consolidation of these devices into more permanent wholes with their own properties. This evolution takes us from perceiving ourselves as bundles of properties to recognizing ourselves as objects with those properties. To address the hard problem of consciousness, the author suggests introducing intermediate levels between the brain and a subject who can issue reports. This approach breaks down the problem into 3 more manageable parts and emphasizes the need for a methodology that combines analysis and synthesis. The first step is to synthesize an artificial protoself, which is a sentient measuring device capable of feeling the effect of different speeds, for example. These protoselves are specialist agents dedicated to transforming measured properties into felt properties. By allowing them to interact with each other, teams of protoselves can emerge to deal with external objects. The author also warns against relying solely on verbal reports as evidence for a unified consciousness. They argue that narratives formed through verbal reports may be misleading. On the other hand, the belief in 2 fully separate autobiographical selves is questioned by the fact that split-brain subjects behave normally in their daily lives without realizing they are not a single person. Unity is promoted by factors such as sharing one body, interoceptive and proprioceptive signs, shared subcortical structures, and competition for limited attentional resources. Given the uncertainty surrounding personal identity and consciousness, the author suggests caution in drawing conclusions. They acknowledge the complexities and challenges in understanding these concepts and emphasize the need for further research and exploration. In sum, this text explores the nature of personal identity and consciousness. The end, bitch.